Hello.
Hello.
All right. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hi.
Hi. Right. Did anybody have a chance to see that Netflix documentary that I linked in the group?
I watched it last night. It was really interesting. It was kind of depressing though.
Yeah, I get that.
You just realize how controlling social media is. It was kind of a bummer to watch, but it was definitely very eye-opening.
Yeah, I would agree. But I also think they have an agenda, and I know plenty of people that love social media and don't have any problems with it.
Yeah.
So what they do know how to do, though, all they care about is engagement. How long are you looking at your phone? So just avoid negative information. The more you click on negative information, the more you read negative information, the more Facebook's going to serve you negative information.
Yeah.
Um, I myself have had this issue a lot. Uh, I've let politics upset me quite a bit, and I really kind of stopped using social media quite a bit. But then, I've just started, especially with this team. I've been using it differently. I've been using it to research SEO and to just really not, if I don't go to the news feed right now. I'm pretty much sticking to Facebook groups and sticking to messengers with friends and having a much better time with it. I found that documentary to be very eye-opening. I actually quit about 10 minutes into it because I'm like, yeah, I know all this stuff. I've known all this stuff for a long time. But then I had two clients in one day ask me about it. So I had to go watch it. Yeah. Do you all understand? Did everybody see it or does anyone not see it?
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
I haven't had the time to watch it.
Okay. Well, I would recommend seeing it because I've actually been using it a lot in my conversations with clients. A lot of the times, I'll actually tell them, stop me if you've either heard me telling you this before, or if you just don't care, because some of them don't really have enough background knowledge to really understand some of the things I'm saying. And I think algorithm layering is a perfect example of this. I talk about algorithm layering all the time because it is very central to how I do SEO differently, and how really it's high level SEO. And I think after you've watched this video, you'll understand algorithm layering much better because it uses a ton of examples about it. And it's those examples that make you realize how how the algorithm really serves information to you, and how, and the more you know about that, the, you know, the more it helps with SEO, and then the more you can see how social media is kind of doing some stuff in the background. Okay, so let's. I was really impressed by everybody's images this week. I feel like you guys took quite a bit of a step up in the quality of the images that you were sharing to the Facebook group. Um, Now, have you guys, I'm going to share my screen. So Kelly, this one is really good. Let's go ahead and post that. I would only change this one paragraph here, and I put a little comment on it on how to change that. We are going to, this week we're going to be talking about video. I have shared a lot of video logins to the Skype chat, and Alex is going to kind of be sharing this week some of the videos he's been working on, because he's got a background in making videos. So I kind of you know, we talked about it last week, and he'll be sharing some of the ones that he's come up with. But now we're going to kind of graduate from making images to making video a little bit. And so this week, keep practicing making images. You know, I think this is something we're just gonna, every single week, make at least one image. I'd really like to go with, you know, 2 images would be great, because then we can pick one or, you know, one of the 2 images. And if you're making more than 1 image, then you're naturally gonna, and we're, you know, picking one to share, it's more of a chance that you're, you know, that you're gonna just keep getting better. I think if you make 2, you know, for now, let's try to make 2 images every week, and we'll eventually do 3 images every week. As you get better, you'll get faster at making them. So that's just something I think is really important, because even when you start making videos, you're going to want to make images for those videos, custom images. You're going to want to make custom images everywhere. And the better you get at doing that, really, I mean, this is just such a good image, Kelly, really. Like you guys have, everybody has really taken a level up on this. And, you know, when we get to Instagram and Pinterest in a week from now or 2 weeks from now, we're going to be, you know, custom imagery is going to be everything. So that's a big part of the Instagram algorithm is the image unique? You know, that algorithm basically checks to see if anybody else has ever posted it. And if it's a unique image, you instantly get a huge visibility boost. Pinterest is the same way, but Pinterest's image algorithm is even crazier. Instagram's is pretty crazy too, but it's still a Facebook product. So your visibility is really tied to your engagement, and it has more to do with, you know, influencers are a big thing on Instagram, and it's kind of like being a celebrity. You know, when people are looking at your page and staying on there for a long time, you got that engagement. You get visibility. On Pinterest, really, they check what's in the image, what colors are you using. They you know, they can kind of see what's inside of an image as well. So it has a lot less to do with your overall popularity on Pinterest, and just more to do so with, you know, how your images are and how your boards are organized. And engagement is getting more important over time as Pinterest grows in popularity. But since it's one of the, you know, one of the newest platforms, it's less competitive than the rest, and because of that, engagement isn't as important. So yeah, let's see. And keep dropping your comments on the posts that, you know, I want to know what you guys are thinking and which ones you like the most. I'll kind of reach out to you individually after the meeting and pick a post that I liked from each one of you. One thing I do want to mention, which I don't know how entirely, I don't want you guys getting too distracted, because I just naturally always check the SEO on something, and you'll have posts like this where 0 traffic. And, you know, when you see that, the one thing I would recommend you do is you look at the rest of the content on the website. Because just because it has 0 traffic isn't a strong indicator that it's not good content. But if the entire website has no traffic, then that's a pretty good indicator that there's better content out there. If you like what you're reading, that's great. But what I would recommend then doing next is kind of pull, what did you like about the article? And in fact, there's a lot of this that I did like. The update older content with fresh information. It's not something I'm going to have you guys doing, but I definitely think I'm going to be forwarding this over to the blogging team, because, and then this one too, not the fresh content. It's the find where you've been mentioned without being linked to. I know a lot of SEO people do that. And I don't think our website's big enough that that's the case, but this is a very strong strategy. But my point here is if this article gets 0 traffic and then the overall website gets 0 traffic, I would then take the part that you like most about it, find all existing unlinked mentions and Google it and see if there's a better piece of content out there that ranks highly for it. Now, Blogging Wizard does get a lot of traffic. So I think it's just, again, there could be so many reasons why that article itself gets 0 traffic. Maybe it was posted during a week or month in which something else of theirs got a lot of attention. And, maybe it's also not their primary subject matter. I've actually kind of started to break my rule because normally I'm like, if it has 0 traffic, I would continue doing my SEO research. But I have agreed with a lot of what you guys have been putting in your comments, about what you like and what you didn't like. And it does feel like you're understanding SEO. So this is all good. Look at Ahrefs number 2, but there's no traffic on this search phrase. Okay, I'm going to move on. Let's see. Alex, before I continue running down my list, is there anything you want to share with the group regarding videos? Or maybe even share your screen and go over a couple of them? Are you ready for that, or can you get ready?
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay, yeah, get ready and let me know when you're ready for that. And I'll just keep going down my list of stuff. So I've joined a bunch of the Facebook groups that you guys have been sharing. I haven't been accepted yet into some of them. So Marley, were you able to get in this group, the Ahrefs one?
I'm muted. Yeah, I'm in it. I liked this one in particular because it just stayed on topic. A lot of the groups I looked at, as much as they said they wouldn't allow self-promotion, so much of the content was self-promotion and it was pretty annoying. This group, though, I think was a lot better at making sure that didn't happen, and it's just a lot of people asking questions and then people will comment answers, and so I found that helpful.
Yeah, I've tried a lot of SEO programs, and Ahrefs is the one that I eventually fell back on. So I like it a lot. Alex, were you able to get in this Superstar group?
Yeah, I was able to join. I don't remember what the questions were, but it was pretty similar to the other group in terms of engagement. Just a lot of like people asking about specific resources and different techniques that they can use. I didn't see like too much self-promotion, so it was more just like questions and a lot of answers.
Yeah, I'm interested in him because SEO is just one of those terms which it's a kind of a blanket term for anything you can do on the internet, and because of that, it's misused in a lot of ways. This guy is very interesting in that his SEO is terrible. He gets no traffic to his website, yet he's got a big Facebook group, and he's got I just lost him. He's got a pretty decent YouTube following. He's got, how many people does he have on his Facebook page? Does it say 18,000? So this is a perfect example of someone who's completely neglected. I don't know if neglected is even the right word for this because it's working for him. He's not using his website and his marketing strategy. And these days you can do that. You can use your Facebook page as a replacement for your website. I wouldn't recommend that, but it does build some good habits. Social media, if you can be successful on social media, you can be successful on almost anything, right? It is so much more competitive. And because of that, if you find success here, theoretically, I would have a website because you should be you should be able to take some of that success to your website and you're going to make a lot more conversions, a lot more money on your website. But this is something I'm seeing more and more of over time. Social media influencers are a perfect example of this. A lot of social media influencers don't have their own website. They have used social media as a replacement. And I met this hairstylist who really made me think about social media a little bit differently because he eventually started making websites and started taking some advice that I gave to him. but is just one of the strongest networkers I've ever met in my life. He was a hairstylist that's in Seattle, and a bunch of his clients are like CEOs and managers at Amazon and Microsoft and all this stuff. And knew everybody, and he had done like no online marketing. But when he talked about how he was networking and how he was meeting these different people and kind of meeting them at his hair salon, and then one person would refer him to another person, and he would then go meet these people at their art galleries, et cetera, et cetera. I saw a lot of similarities between what he was doing essentially was SEO, but he was doing it offline. And so there's multiple ways of doing SEO. The only difference in this case was that he wasn't using a website. He was using his physical business as, basically where he was trying to get people to. But this guy was interesting to me for that reason. I think looking at him is a good example of what we'd want to build kind of from a SEO perspective. I do have to say he doesn't have a ton of engagement, but that's just probably because SEO is maybe not the most popular subject matter. He does do a lot of live video. So, and I was telling you guys that whenever you do a live video, it pops you to the top of the Facebook algorithm. So that's a good way to kind of cheat if you don't have high engagement, kind of, force yourself to stay on the top of the algorithm. And this is something I've been thinking about. We could definitely at some point, once we're farther along through the training process, start to do some of these Zoom calls on Facebook Live. I don't know. This all kind of depends on how everybody feels about, using their Facebook. I personally, this is a whole new world for me because I've been a very private person for most of my career. I don't really like using Facebook for business purposes, but it's something I am learning to kind of get better at. So Kelly, can you tell me which groups you were in so I don't have to go digging through the Facebook group again?
For me personally, I wasn't necessarily looking for groups that were marketing related because I found that kind of difficult. So I did share like one that wasn't really related, but I thought that we could like learn a lot from it. So what I noticed from really, really big groups was that they basically, a lot of engagement is from people tagging their friends. And I feel like that's a really kind of like simple way of getting engagement, like making something relatable and then someone going like, oh, I want to share this with other people as well. So this could be like creating content that's like really helpful, easy to understand. So that's what I got out of it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I have kind of seen that problem since day one, that nobody really cares about SEO and marketing except for business owners. And then when you're limited by that, business owners don't have the time to be on social media 24/7. So it's, this disconnect between how social media is used and what the target audience is doing. So I myself, when we get to Pinterest, you're going to see I've kind of changed my my strategy on Pinterest from really sharing social media stuff to just sharing anything I find positive, which includes a lot of cute cat videos or cute animal videos in general, just fun stuff. And it was at one point, it was for me a way to get off Facebook, because Facebook was dragging me down that hole that we were talking about in the documentary. I mean, it was really just upsetting me all the time. And that's kind of where this all grew. But I learned very quickly that with Pinterest, as soon as I branched out of the SEO and marketing kind of content niche, things exploded for me. One of the things we'll be using, we'll be practicing on Pinterest with one of the Pinterest accounts that I made. Gosh, so it's not Costume City, it's Costume Ideas. Yes, okay. So I grew this from nothing, 585,000 monthly viewers. When you have a certain subject matter, social media is a lot easier. And costumes is one of those things. It's like everybody, likes dressing up in going out on Halloween. Halloween's coming up too. We might have to actually do Pinterest before Instagram for that reason. I didn't even think about that. This person's not a client anymore because Amazon killed the business. They basically moved completely onto Amazon. But this was kind of what opened my eyes to social media. I, for a long time, had a very strong opinion of it, that it was too time consuming to be effective. And again, without engagement, you're just wasting your time. I want a sure bet. I want a sure thing. And that's kind of how my SEO strategies have been built. I, at the beginning, tried 20 different things, and the things that worked, I stuck with them. And I figured out why they worked. And you may basically took that to the diminishing returns stage, and then started adding new pieces, testing out new ideas. And that I've been doing social media since day one, but I always found it to be the strategy that, unless I invested 100% of my time and energy into, I would not see results on. And you really can't do that. If you're spending all your time on Facebook and you do nothing on YouTube, it's just not a very smart way to spend your time and energy. So Pinterest, I think, will be the thing that we jump into maybe next week, because Halloween is coming up, and this account went up to 2 million people last year, a month during the Halloween season. You try getting 2 million people to your website, it's impossible. I mean, that's the power of social media, it really is. So, okay, let's see. Anna, why don't you tell me which group you shared?
Yeah, I don't actually know if it showed up on the, I thought it posted, but I don't know if it's actually on there. But so I did two, and again, kind of what I was saying, one of them is not marketing related, and then one of them is. So the one that isn't is the Tasty community. I don't know if you've seen kind of those BuzzFeed videos that have those really quick recipes where they speed up the when they're making it and then they have it in like a 30-second clip or something. And I found that a lot of people like those because it's very efficient and it's quick and you can figure it out pretty easily, and it's a visual. And then the second one I found, so there's this person called Rachel Peterson. She is apparently one of the most influential online marketers. So I was looking both at her. She has a page called Become a Social Media Manager, and then she has a page just Rachel Peterson, and it's Pedersen.
Oh.
And so I was just looking at some of her posts. I like her Facebook page personally because she has so she has some videos, which is helpful, kind of give you little hints and tips about how to build your audience, or create content inspiration and things like that. I don't think I can repost them, but those were the ones that I found.
Yeah, can you repost those groups to the
Yeah.
to the Facebook group? And you said it's spelled Rachel Peterson with a D?
With a D, yeah.
Yeah.
P-E-R-S-E-N.
Oh, S-E-N.
Yeah. I'll just see if I can put that on our
So
page right
this
now.
is something that I have seen twice now, which is a huge pet peeve of mine. This is literally just the biggest red flag in the world, and I don't understand it. I don't understand how people make this mistake. This is literally the most rookie mistake ever of SEO, and it's amazing how often you'll see this happening. Now again, with SEO, you don't have to get everything right, so just one thing like this won't hurt her. But what the website is doing, Yoast SEO is doing, is this going to populate. Did I show you guys this already? Where it pulls in the title of the page and then it puts in the title of the website dash. That's what's happening here. The title of her homepage is home, and so it's going home dash title of her website, Rachel Peterson, the queen of social media. This means she's never changed the defaults on Yoast SEO. I mean, she's not doing literally the most entry level thing that you do in SEO, which is put keywords in the right places. I saw this with someone else. We were looking, oh yeah, the Sherper case study. Was it? Yeah, sure, but here we go. So this was, a good case study. I agree. A lot of what they're talking about, theoretically, WordPress should do automatically. Um, theoretically should have been designed that way from the get-go, but they probably could have gotten this client from someone else, right? And the original website stuff. So a big job then is just fixing the website. But when I went and checked out Jaw Resorts and Hotel, they talk about how much they're helping. Yeah, same thing again. It's just mind-boggling to me. Their homepage is actually just titled home. It doesn't even say dash Jaw Resorts and Hotels. The SEO is doing better than it was before. So they are helping on certain things, but again, this is step one of an SEO strategy. Fix your titles. You can do that intuitively, just what keyword, who do you want to target? How are you going to get them to you pay attention to your website? Put that information in your titles. That's step one in an SEO strategy. So this is mind-boggling to me. And I think if you start to see this, let's keep track of this, because I feel like it's at some point in the future, I really want to just, almost like write an article that's like rookie SEO mistakes, home in the homepage title, and then just link to all these businesses. Because I know for a fact that these people are going to see the backlinks, and then they'll finally fix this. It's just a pet peeve of mine. Like that Rachel Peterson, I mean, it's just amazing to me. She probably is massive. I've seen so many people that just have massive social media presences and like, even in many cases, like good SEO, but they're still messing up their, yeah, wow, 300,000, you're not kidding. So, yeah, I'll have to check her out. TikTok being banned, that's pretty funny. All right. Alex, you ready to share your screen and show off the videos?
Yeah.
Let me allow you to share. Go ahead.
Okay. So this is just the Animoto homepage where you can see all your videos. So I did make the kind of overview tutorial on how to use Animoto. I haven't sent it to you yet, but I can send it either in the Skype or just to you, Jeff, if you just want to check it out first.
Let's share it to the group. That way we're all learning together. Okay. Oh, yeah. So Animoto. Let's see. Well, go ahead and just kind of go into the project a little bit and just show them a little of how it works.
Okay. So I guess I'll just go into it. Yeah, so it's pretty simple. You have 3 tabs up at the top, basically your ratio, your music, your design. Your ratio is basically the size of the video that you have. If you click it, you can see you have the option of square, landscape, vertical, and they kind of tell you what they're good for on the bottom too. And yeah, so landscape would be for like YouTube or Facebook. Square could also be Facebook and Instagram. And then vertical is more like like Instagram stories or IGTV.
Yeah, we're gonna mostly stick with square and landscape. And
Mhm.
vertical is a very specific situation.
So yeah, if you go into the design tab, well, I guess, should I show them the templates first?
Yeah, I suppose the templates are just something kind of like with how we're learning to make images. I expect everybody to kind of play around with them over time. So my one thing with Animoto is really just to make sure that you fit the words on as few lines as possible, and you don't have 3 lines and of text and then one word on the fourth line of text. You know, it just, unless there's something that you're trying to position the words around in the image, there's no reason to be doing that. So, and then on top of that, just when you're finished with the video, because Animoto does a pretty good job of estimating how long the slide should be, depending on how long how much text you have in the image, or how long the video clip that you uploaded is supposed to be. And that's another thing. I shared video blocks to the Facebook or to the Skype group. Video blocks is where you go and download videos. I have a subscription to basically a bunch of premium videos through that. And so two things really. I use Zoom and I use video blocks for almost all my video footage. Zoom is really nice because if you have the premium version, and you can just auto record everything. I auto record every meeting, and it immediately becomes an MP4 file as soon as the meeting is over. It's amazing. It's most video programs require you to render video at the end of the process, and that can take a lot of time. Zoom is the fastest thing I have come across when it comes to recording your screen and then spitting out a video file that you can use. So I use Zoom to record me doing things, and you know, to basically use my computer as some kind of video editor. You know, I can do anything I do on my computer, I can record with Zoom, and it's very powerful that way. And then in combination with, I use that on top of Video Blocks. Video Blocks has so much good stuff in there. You know, it's got a little search engine. You go in there, you search for something, and it's got a ton of stuff in there. So just remember, when you put Video Blocks videos in here, if you have a like 20-second clip, it's going to automatically change the length of the slide to 20 seconds. And in a lot of cases, if you only have 10 seconds worth of text on top of that video slide, you're going to have to trim, you know, the part of the video that you're watching in there. So yeah, I expect people to kind of, if you have questions, just reach out to me or Alex on Skype, and you know, this is going to be our main homework for the week, is besides making 2 to 3 images like we've been doing, this week, let's focus more on making video and then engaging in your groups. That's the 3 pieces of homework. You know, find groups. Not necessarily, you can, you know, engaging is something I want everyone to start practicing just to build those good habits. But this week, it's going to be less research and more spending time in the groups that we've been sharing to the Facebook, to our Facebook group, you know, going outside of our Facebook group and just engaging and researching in other Facebook groups. And I'm actually open to that idea of, you know, checking out groups besides SEO and marketing. Let's just, you know, let's not completely navigate away from what we're trying to accomplish, which is getting better at marketing. You know, as long as you're paying, you know, there's like, I completely agree that the best groups in the world are probably not going to be SEO and marketing related. So, but that doesn't mean just going to spend all your time in groups that you like that have nothing to do with marketing, right? So yeah, but the main thing I have when it comes to Animoto is just fitting the text on the fewest lines possible and just making it easy to read. And then number 2, when you're done with the video, watch it through and read out what's on the screen. So in this case, you know, you'd press play and you would read it out. Square is good for Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and at the speed that you would, you know, read. Don't rush through it. And that's going to tell you how long the slide should be, because, you know, if it you know, switches slides too quickly, cuts you off halfway through, you got to increase the length of the slide. If you finish reading and it's still on this, you know, it sticks on this slide for 5 seconds, you know, you can cut 4 seconds out. There should be about a second between you finishing the sentence and the transition to the next slide. And those are really the 2, you know, things that I feel pretty strongly about. From there, get creative, because there's really no right or wrong way to make video or make images. So yeah, keep going. Go ahead, Alex.
Okay, yeah. So definitely about the text. Just Animoto is really easy with moving text and having it align, because it basically automatically aligns itself whenever you move it. So if I move this over here, it'll just align to the left, and then it'll align to the right. So Yeah, and then another thing is like if you're wanting to get everything to fit in on the lines, it's usually with the sizing. So um, you can mess around with the sizing, and then see then you have like four lines, and then the weird line in the middle. Um, but yeah, if you just move around the sizing, then you can get the lines however you want them.
Can I share your screen for just 1 second? Request for remote control. So this is the next thing I think it's good to understand is at first what I normally do is I don't put any what is it, paragraphs in the text, and then just figure out kind of what is the right size for what I'm trying to accomplish. So you can see there's another paragraph there after Facebook. But when you have it all in one line, then you can size it and kind of figure out how many lines you're going to want, right? So in this case, 3 lines. You had 3 lines before, right, Alex, or was it 4?
I know it's 3.
Okay, so yeah, you can tell that 4 is probably too big, right? Covers what the image. 2 is probably too small. There's not, there's too much text for. So 3 is what we're looking for. Once you've got yourself to 3, and this is really hard for me to do, remote control, then you can start to put your spaces in. So I think what Alex was trying to do, which is I think good, is when you have a single sentence, put it on its own line. And now I can resize it again. And I think you put vertical down on its own line too. Yeah. Yeah, so that looks pretty good. Yeah, you can go ahead and center it. It's so hard for me to do this remotely.
Yeah. So yeah, moving the text is really easy. You can also just change the colors when you click on the text box too. Like you have the size, you have the text color, you have the highlight or the accent color. Or you could just completely delete either the subtitle or the title. Um, Sometimes you don't need that much text and you like how the title looks, so you can just delete the subtitle, or the opposite and just delete the title. So you can also change the layout or change the color of the. So basically, I have a design on here. If you go to the design tab, you can see there's like 3 main tabs that you want to focus on, or well, actually 2. The text settings and the video settings. So the text settings is where we do the font color for both title and subtitle, and then the text style. So the font is always going to be Lato, right?
Yeah, let's just stick with Lato. It's one of the easier ones to read. I think for training purposes, we'll stick with that. We can maybe get more creative in the future.
And then the text style is like another one. So you can play around with these, but they all have like different animations to how the text appears. And I just have the solid highlight, so it's pretty simple. But the other tab, the video settings, is also really important. So I have this like brush design. So if I change it to, let's say, clean, there's pretty much no design. This one has like a paper kind of design, but yeah, you just mess around with those. And you can also change the colors of the background and the accent up here. And then you can also add filters. I don't have any filters on this. And then the last tab is the watermark tab. So you can just add a watermark if it's like a professional video, and then it'll show up in the corner. And they also have like preset themes up here. So, but they will change your font. So if you can start off with like a theme and see if you like the colors, but usually I don't think none of these have our font that we're going to be using, so I don't really use these.
Yeah, I agree. I would, maybe play around with them in the beginning just to kind of get a feel for all the different options that Animoto has. But then I would stick with one theme for, and then kind of customize that theme and get good at customizing that theme. Once you get comfortable and, exhausted your creativity within a theme, then you can start to, branch out a little bit more. But Alex, you've done a really good job with this one. I've honestly never used Brush before, and yeah, I'm impressed. It looks good.
Yeah, so yeah, and then you can also change your layout. So if you want to, so like this one, it's originally a circle layout. Because I have the brush design over it, it gives it kind of this like artsy, like brush circle look. But it's cool because the design plays off of, specific layouts that you can choose. So another layout I have over here is where it's just, normally it would just be like a straight image right here and then text over here, but it kind of incorporates like a brush style, so it looks a little bit more artsy, I guess. Yeah. And then this one, I just use the title, but I guess. And then down here you can trim clips. So it's the little scissor icon right next to the duration of the clip. And then you can just drag this bar and it'll tell you on the right how long it'll be. Yeah, you can just apply it. And then you can always add more blocks down here next to the play button. So once you add a block, it'll give you an option for which media layouts, and then it'll give you previews of all the layouts that you can have. And then like once you're close to done, I usually add music towards the end. They have a huge music library. So if you click it, it'll show you like all these different moods or genres that you have. It'll show you the preview song that if you choose a theme, it'll usually come with a song. So this is the song that it just came with automatically. And if you like it, you can just keep it. But if you want something different, you can just sort by all these different things, and then you just add the apply button. Then it'll to your video.
And if you like the song, please put a heart on it, because this library is massive. And yeah, the amount of time you can spend just looking through the music that they have is ridiculous. So if you like it, I'm pretty sure I'll like it. So go ahead and just put a heart on it so we don't have to, dig around this just gigantic library of music.
And then I guess for the end screen, I found another
Oh,
end screen.
did they add end screen templates now? Wow, that's cool.
No, they didn't. But I just
found that?
it
Nice.
off of Storyblocks, I think. Yeah.
Cool.
So it's got a little animation to it. So, and then we're always doing the end screen as 11 seconds if it's a YouTube video, right? So you have the suggested video, the subscribe, the watch next.
I think we should actually up that. Let's up it to 21 seconds,
Okay.
because 11 seconds is just not enough. How long is that? Yeah, let's just do 20. That's fine. It doesn't really make a difference. So yeah, let's go ahead and maybe, because I think I want to keep pretty consistent with that, at least for the time being. So go ahead and share that that end screen clip too, because it looks good. That's pretty close to the font that I use on my website.
Yeah, and then pretty much once you're done, you can preview clips just down here with the play button. And then once you're done, you can play the video and it'll kind of render, and then you can just watch the whole video through, and then just work on your timing, I guess, when you read it, and then see how long, if you need to add more time or shorten it down. And then from there, you can just export, or you can just export from here. Usually, like I watch it a couple times and then I'll edit little things and then finally I'll export it. But and then you can also edit the video name, which is important because I always forget to do that.
And then it's very hard to find it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's about it.
Yeah, so that was a very good summary. Yeah.
Thank you.
So let me think about this. I don't want to add too much to you guys' plate right now. So let's just really kind of play around with Animoto and do the same thing that we've been doing for images. Kind of pick out a concept from the training videos that you liked, and make a video for it, or make a video regarding Animoto. But I think we'll probably get into that next week, or we might actually just jump straight to Pinterest next week. So this might just be the kind of our secondary. I think we're getting to a point now where I want to move on to Pinterest. I can't believe Halloween is so soon. So yeah, our homework for the week, because we are getting close to the end of the hour, is make 2 to 3 images, at least 2 images for, just practicing your image making skills. Fool around on Animoto for about 1/3 of your time. And if you have any questions about it, go ahead and just, message Alex, message me directly, or, comment to the Skype group. And then what is the 3rd piece of homework? Oh yeah, Facebook groups. And Alex, that one looks pretty much good to go. If you think it's ready, go ahead and publish it and put it up on YouTube. And yeah, I think you want to do another meeting this week, because I think there's a ton of other stuff that we could go over.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so Animoto, make 1 to 2 videos, make 2 to 3 images, and then Facebook groups, just research and try to engage. Next week, we'll jump into Pinterest. Pinterest, I think I might so I can summarize Pinterest in a nutshell. I use a program called Tailwind for Pinterest. And we'll be going over the basics of Tailwind. But Tailwind is kind of like Buffer, it's kind of like Hootsuite, but it's designed specifically for Pinterest. And you combine Tailwind with another program called Pinterest, and it can work magic. So this one basically helps you to find followers. This one helps you automate posting. So you just build this really good automated posting thing, and then you just set this program to automatically build followers. And there's many layers to how you can use these 2 programs, but just in of itself, just those 2 strategies together can build you a massive Pinterest account. And they both work for Instagram too. You're going to see that both of them have the ability. Instagram and Pinterest have surprising similar functionalities in the way that the algorithm works. The big difference is that Instagram doesn't allow you to put links on your post. So your engagement with people is super important on Instagram, going out and commenting, and liking other people's pages. So whereas on Pinterest, the engagement, it just takes a back seat to other stuff. All right, so we still have 10 more minutes. Does anybody have, I think what we did last week, where you told me what you've liked recently and what you'd want to learn more of, is really helpful for me. It really helps me to prepare for next week's meeting and kind of prioritize what to train you guys on. So let's just continue that process. Just let me know, what worked for you this last week and what you want to learn more of going forward. So let's see, Marley, you want to go first?
Sure. I have a quick question
Mhm.
before that. Is there a certain amount of time that you hope the videos are?
So that depends on the platform that we're on. But my process normally is to not worry about the length of the video and to just focus on the quality of the content. You know, if I'm engaged the whole way through my video, I'm happy with myself. I try not to think about the fact that attention spans on Facebook are horrendously low. And on Facebook, your average video length is going to be 15 to 30 seconds. But we've all watched videos on Facebook that are longer than 30 seconds. So that's not, you know, a hard stop that you need to worry about. On YouTube, your average video length is 2 to 5 minutes. But top YouTubers' videos are almost always run longer than that. So again, a lot of it comes back to the engagement. As long as you've got quality content, it really doesn't matter how long it is or how short it is. So normally what I do is I put all the content that I feel is necessary in one video. You know, if I feel like it goes on and on, then I split it up into 2 videos. And that's typically what I do at the end is I'll make one long video, not worry about the length of it, just kind of worry about how, you know, am I happy with the quality of my work? And then at the end of it, I'll split it up into different pieces. I'll very often end up with a 3 to 5 minute, not 5 minutes. On Animoto, I don't think I've ever gone over 4 minutes. I'll have a 3 minute, you know, length video normally, and I'll split that up usually into 2 for YouTube. Because when it comes to YouTube, we're getting almost all of our results from YouTube ads. And with YouTube ads, the most important part is the first 20 seconds. So let me just, I'm always in here. So you know, I run ads on basically all my clients' videos. But your skippable in-stream ad that, you know, skip this button or this ad button is going to pop up at the 5 second mark. This is a terrible video for a Facebook ad. However, it was made by a videographer and it's very high quality. You know, this is, you'll see just, it's all real life footage. And,
Wait, Jeffrey, I think you're
oh,
sharing.
yeah. Am I not sharing? So, are you seeing Excel? I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a video for a personal injury attorney of mine, and I didn't make the video. So it opens up an image of their logo. Well, nobody cares about who you are, you know, in an ad. So how many seconds have already passed? 5 seconds have already passed, and we haven't even gotten to any information whatsoever about who should care and what the video is about. Everybody's going to start clicking skip, skip, skip immediately. And you can see that that's what happened. You get almost 100% engagement rate up into the 5 second mark, and then boom, plummets. So this is why on YouTube, getting to the point immediately is so important. You know, what are you talking about? Who should care and why should they care? Get that value proposition in before the 20 second mark. This really applies across the board. On Facebook, you know, I would probably aim for 30 seconds, 15 to 30 second videos if you can. The longer you go on, it becomes a problem quickly, because with Facebook, the primary ranking factor is engagement. So a big part of your engagement level is retention. If you have a 5 minute video, getting people to watch 4+ minutes of the video is going to be very hard. You see what I'm saying? Whereas if you have a 30-second video, getting someone to watch 20 seconds of it is going to be a lot easier.
Yeah.
So on social media, the shorter the better. But again, it all comes back to the quality of the content.
Mm.
If you think it's important, don't cut it out.
Okay, sounds good. And then I had just one other general question. This one's related to co-schedule.
Mhm.
Kelly wanted to know if you had any feedback or thoughts on what people have been writing for the actual co-schedule posts. So not the images, but like the actual text that people are writing. Has that seemed fine to you, or?
Yeah, I'm going to go in there and take a look at that. We've been kind of moving through training so quickly that kind of took a back burner a little bit. One of the next parts of co-schedule is going to be using the reposting part of the program. But I felt like I needed to just train you guys on SEO in general and get further along in the training process, because I thought that your posts are just going to keep getting better. And that's what I expect. But eventually what we're going to do is, let's see. CoSchedule has a thing called Requeue, and Requeue allows us to take posts and put them into this little library so that if we ever run out of posts going forward, it'll dig into the Requeue library and populate that. So the idea is that we just constantly keep making new posts, new images, just keep getting better at this. And over time, the ones that we see results on, we're going to put them into the Requeue. But we still haven't gotten to a stage right now where we're building engagement on the Facebook page. That's going to be kind of the next step. We might jump to Pinterest before that, just because I think you guys playing around on this Costume City Pinterest account might be probably one of the more exciting things we get to do in the internship, because again, this Pinterest account is 500,000 monthly viewers on it. It's already gotten to the final stages of a social media strategy, which can take a lot of time to do. Even our own, social media strategy, we're probably not going to see significant results for 6 months, maybe longer. Again, just because we don't have existing engagement on the Seattle Web Search Facebook page, and that's a big problem. We're going to be doing pay-per-click ads to kind of accommodate for that situation, but without engagement, really, it's a lot harder. So I really liked what Kelly actually mentioned, which is, I have this Pinterest account. It is massive, and the reason it's massive is because it's fun content. It's very easy for people to like and share themselves in costumes, having fun. So we'll jump to Pinterest next week, but then it's just really to kind of teach you guys Tailwind and to kind of get a feel for what a big social media account feels like. And then we're going to come back to Facebook. I'll probably start to teach you guys on pay-per-click, because pay-per-click, we need to start getting results. Once we start getting results once we start getting, clicks, and I don't expect engagement off the bat, but pay-per-click will fix the traffic and clicks situation. You can force traffic and you can force clicks into your Facebook page using pay-per-click. It's also probably something you guys all want to learn, because at the end of the day, building engagement and creating a quality social media strategy organically takes a lot of time. You have to pretty much have a full-time job at a company to really see that through. So pay-per-click is something that you can just kind of pop into any company ever and make a pretty big impact pretty quickly if you know how to do it. So yeah, we'll jump to Pinterest just for 1 week, just to kind of get a feel for what the account is, and we'll kind of do a little bit there. Then we'll jump back to Facebook, do some pay-per-click, and then we'll jump to Instagram, because Instagram kind of meets in the middle of both those worlds. Instagram and Pinterest, very similar in a lot of ways, both image heavy. And then, Instagram is a Facebook product. So pay-per-click and building our Facebook account page, the SEO there is going to help a lot by having an Instagram strategy.
Okay, those are all my questions. As far as what we're doing, I am really excited to get into video. That is like what I've most wanted to do. So yeah, I like the direction we are headed.
Okay, cool. I gave you guys, let's start with Animoto, but I gave you guys 3 different video programs. There's also RenderForest and there's also Promo.com. Animoto recently went through a massive update that made it more like Promo.com. So Promo.com used to be my Animoto 2.0, but now I don't even think I believe that anymore, especially having just seen what Alex did with those new styles. Animoto is pretty amazing. And then RenderForest just has very specific templates. You can go in there and search for real estate template, and it's going to pop out a real estate template. You can search web design template, website mockup template, and it's got very specific templates. But it's also kind of the weakest of the 3 platforms, and it's just not as polished, I guess I would put it, is the way I'd put it. So let's stick with Animoto for now, because you can do a lot of damage with Animoto. A lot of people don't know this, but even before it went through its updates, it's used by CNN, it's used by BuzzFeed, it's used by major media companies, because you don't need $5,000 produced videos every single day. You can't even do that. Alex will tell you, other video programs that live on your computer they're slow. They take forever to use, and they take forever to render with, and they take very powerful computers. So this is, definitely something that kind of transformed my SEO strategies. Animoto was just, it took everything to a whole nother level. All right, Kelly, how about you?
I agree with Marley. I'm excited to go into making videos. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's let's find some marketing groups to spend time in this week. Since for you and Anna, since you guys didn't do that last week, for everybody, I'm open to visiting other groups because I agree with that concept that engagement really it's what it's all about, and sometimes that's a lot easier with different types of content.
Also, I have to go now because I have class, but
Okay.
Yeah.
See you later.
Right. Bye.
Bye. Okay, Anna, we'll do this real quick and then you can go.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much from last time, I would probably say just along the same lines, and the video will be something that I think will be interesting. I noticed you did send the login information for the other 3 video platforms. I don't know, I might have missed the information you sent for Animoto, but
I'll resend it right now.
oh, it's right there. Okay, okay. Perfect.
Yeah. Just repost it.
Other than that, that's all I have.
Okay. All right, well, I'll let you guys go because it is 11 o'clock. So yeah, reach out to me if you have any questions. And Alex, you can reach out to Alex for any questions regarding video too. And yep, and Marley can help you with images. So we'll just go from there.
Perfect.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.